I recently visited Scotland, a country full of character, one that we associate with lochs and mountains, but it has so much more. Passing through Kyle Isle, there were the beautiful hills bathed in evening sunshine. But the following day, continuing the journey onto the Highlands, it reminded me that you can't have green mountains without lots of water. We saw plenty of water, but even so, the country was beautiful. It was dramatic. It was inviting yet forbidding. That is Scotland, particularly the Scottish Highlands. Fortunately, upon our arrival, the weather improved dramatically. Welcome to the Waters and Stanton video channel. I'm dressed like this because it's rather cold. Although looking at the blue sky there, you would think it was warmer, but it's actually around about 4 or 5 degrees centigrade here. And I'm shooting this video from the Highlands of Scotland. Now, if you're an overseas viewer, I should explain that I live in the south of the UK. And I'm now in the north of the UK, up in Scotland, in the Highlands of Scotland. And it's around about a 550-mile driving trip. I've actually done it many times because I've got a cottage up here, just behind the camera actually. And I've actually done this trip in an open-top Morgan sports car twice. And I've done it in a Caterham 7 sports car once. But I'm a little older now, so what I normally do is I drive up here, stop overnight in Carlisle, and then do the rest of the trip the following day. It makes the driving so much easier. But it's a great place to operate ham radio. You see, as I explained in this video, I think the loch here is salt water. It's a sea loch. And I'm going to pan the camera around now to the left, and if you look at the left, the far left, that is south, and that heads out to the open sea. This is actually Loch Linnhe. It heads out to the open sea via Oban. You can go to the Isle of Mull, you can go to the Outer Hebrides, and if you feel so inclined, you could go across the Atlantic. Now, if I pan the camera around to the right, we're looking at the north, and although you can't see it on the camera, just to the top of the loch there is the beginning of the Caledonian Canal. And the Caledonian Canal goes all the way up to Inverness, and it's a favourite spot for visitors from Scandinavia who come down to the head of the canal up in Inverness and then come down to Loch Linnhe and enjoy all the scenery in between. The good thing about ham radio, or operating ham radio from here, is that you've got a lot of space. You can put up all sorts of aerials, as I've done in the past. You've got the salt water, which gives you a good reflective layer, and I've operated down here in the past using loop, and on this trip I've got the buddy stick, which I'll be showing you briefly, and it's just a great part of the UK. Now, if you've never visited Scotland, I would encourage you to consider it, because it's such a beautiful part of the United Kingdom, and it's a part of the United Kingdom that a lot of people haven't visited. But you can see from just this scene here, what a wonderful scene this is, what a wonderful landscape it is. And this beach that I'm on is totally empty. So there we are. Anyway, I'm going to show you very briefly the method of operating that I do up here, and I've done for many years. So let's take a look. Pretty chilly here actually, it's about 6 or 7 degrees, which is a little bit chilly for May, but anyway, we are in Scotland. And as you can see here, I've got the antenna on the roof of the car, got the mag mount. It's actually set to 20 meters at the moment, had a few QSOs. And it seems to be working quite well, as I predicted, of course. So this is my first little bit of portable operation in the Highlands of Scotland. Well, I've moved the vehicle round now, and you can see, well, no, it's not mountains actually, it's hills. I'd call it a mountain in the south, but up here in Scotland, that's just a hill. I'm very fortunate. I've got this holiday cottage up in Scotland, in the Highlands of Scotland. It's actually raining, would you believe? The sun's out and it's raining, but there we are. And I've had some more QSOs in this position. It's a good takeoff. The loch there, which I think you might be able to see, is a sea loch. It's tidal, so it is seawater. And I suppose it gives me some benefit. I've had quite a few contacts on 20 metres and 40 metres. Very, very pleased with the performance, actually. And it gets you out in the open, doesn't it? Bit of fresh air and so forth, and it's, as I said before, it is fairly fresh here. Fortunately, there's not much wind, so that's okay. But it's still around about 7 or 8 degrees centigrade, but at least we've got a bit of sunshine, which I think in Scotland you must be thankful for. Although I have to say, there is some brilliant weather up here. I've been up here many, many times, and sometimes it's just a clear blue sky and the loch is completely calm, so great weather. But back to the radio, it's working very well. I'll show you a shot in a minute of the radio in the car. It's my portable setup. I certainly wouldn't drive like this. It's too tall, and certainly you wouldn't want a telescopic whip as a mobile antenna on your move. It would soon bend, and that would be the end of your antenna. But this buddy stick on the roof of the car, it works extremely well. I'm very pleased with it. Right, this is my ultra portable buddy stick. I've got a little tripod here which I think we're going to put into stock. We haven't got them at the moment. Anyway, this is a little tripod here, and going close you can see that I've got 3 wires here, the 3 radial wires going onto a spade terminal, and then I've got the buddy stick here. So it's just a question of erecting this tripod and putting the buddy stick onto the unit here, and then all we need to do is to extend it, that, and we're ready to go. That's my buddy stick all ready to go. The equipment I took with me I put into a small alloy case, and inside is the IC705, which covers all the HF bands, and a lovely little MK701 paddle key which I took with me, which is very lightweight but it works quite well. And I also took the antenna tuner, the AH705, and of course a microphone as well, and that all packs nicely into this alloy case, and that worked very well indeed. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this brief trip to the Highlands of Scotland via this video, and as I said at the beginning, I would encourage you to think about taking a trip to the Highlands of Scotland and coming up here. It's not always cold. Very often the weather is very fickle, and I think the mountains tend to break the weather up. Sometimes it can be nice and sunny and warm, sometimes it can be nice and sunny and cold, and sometimes, as you saw, I think on my trip up here, it can rain, but the weather is not really that stable, so it's always a change in scene. And as I say to people that are coming up to Scotland, you can't have green mountains and waterfalls without rain. That's what makes the scenery up in Scotland. So as usual, thanks for watching this video. I would encourage you to press the subscribe button. That tells me that I'm on the right track and I'm doing videos that you enjoy. So until the next time, from a rather chilly but wonderfully picturesque Scotland, take care, enjoy your ham radio, and I'll see you down south. Bye for now.